Welcome, one and all, to Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 473, I think. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, here as always with my suspenders set to maximum stun. Yeah, 473. I got it right the first time. Got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking all about Fallout 1. That's right, this week, I started my series on the full story of Fallout 1. Maximum stun. And it's working. Good. And it's been a blast. We've had a great time. I've done three videos, really. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tuesday. I published videos Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But there are a total of 4 episodes in this series so far. And that's because I published an episode of this series well over a year ago. Episode 3, the episode on Junktown, I published about a year ago. And so that's been available this entire time, and I simply added it to the playlist in the appropriate spot. So, but from here on out, it's called completely new content because I haven't made any of that yet. So we got a great show for you today. Gonna have a good old time. So I made a mistake, a little bit of a mistake. I was in a hurry. I was in the middle of working on my Fallout series. And I was getting low on cigars, so I went on over to Famous Smoke, and I searched for some cigars, and I just quickly bought some. And they arrived, and yeah, the box is a lot smaller than what I'm used to. It's the exact same box, same colors and brand and everything, but they're smaller. So they're not the Churchills that I was expecting. Instead, let's see, what are these? It doesn't say. It says Corojo number 4. But it doesn't say exactly what size it is. So we'll go ahead and crack this guy open. Let's see, where's my wallet? There it is. Zack Attack says, "Hi, Oxhorn," from the UK. Hi, Zack Attacks. Pleasure to have you on the program. Twisted Thunder says, "Hello, great work on the Fallout 1 videos recently. Loved your videos. First, well, good to have you on the program today." Taz Grigsby says, "Fallout 1 was an awesome change of pace. Glad you're enjoying it. We're having a whole lot of fun, and I'm going to be publishing a new video every single day this week, except for tomorrow. So no new video tomorrow. Today I spent with the family, and I caught up on some maintenance and stuff that I had to do. So no video tomorrow. But we will, of course, get right back to it Saturday. So that's the plan. New video on Saturday, new video on Sunday, as usual, and then we'll, of course, continue it on into next week. Next week is, I don't know if we're going to finish it next week. We'll get close. We'll get close to finishing it, but we're going to be spending a long time in the hub. Well, I say a long time, but really it's only going to be about 3 episodes. We're going to be spending about 3 episodes worth in the hub because it's just big. It's a really, really big place, and it was frankly intimidating. I had played up until the hub a long time ago. Back when I made my Iguana Bits and Junktown videos, I had played all the way to the hub, and then I kind of got stuck because there was so much to do. I didn't know where to start, I didn't know where to go first, and I was still too low level to really get anything done, so I spent a lot of time on the caravans, only to find out that was a big mistake, which I'll get into when I do my video on the Necropolis. That was frustrating. But yeah, so I spent a long time in the hub, and I finally just hunkered down. Where is it? I got a copy of the Fallout 1 official strategy guide to figure out exactly how I should approach the hub. And honestly, I mean, it was helpful, but it wasn't that helpful. The thing about the Fallout 1 official strategy guide, it's the most oddly designed strategy guide I've ever read. I'm thankful for it, but compared to the New Vegas and the Fallout 3 strategy guides, both of which I use on a daily basis. This thing is written really weird. It's got nice appendices and indexes of gear and loot and characters and all that. Then, roundabouts chapter 4, which is around chapter 4, which is less than halfway through the book, it starts playing through the plot in 4 different ways. So it goes through the entire story in sort of, we're going to tell you a little bit, but we're not going to tell you everything sort of way. Then, in the next section, it goes through the entire plot again from the beginning, getting into a little bit more detail, but they don't cover the things that they covered in the previous section. Then in the third way, they go about it in like a bulleted list. This is absolutely everything that happens in this zone. These are the people you can talk to. This is the gear you can get. But they, again, don't mention anything that they mentioned previously. And then the final chapter is the entire plot of Fallout 1 in novel or journal format. So the guy pretends to be his character and starts taking a journal saying, Day 45, I arrived at the hub just after having left a Junktown. And he writes this story. So it's in story format. It's such a frustrating book to just get concise information out of. I want to know everybody that's there. I want to know exactly what I missed if I don't do X, Y, and Z. But no, that's not the way the book is put together. Still a lot of really good, useful information. Though, I have to say, it's not always accurate. Sometimes, there was this one time when I went to the Necropolis. It seems like all of my problems happened at the Necropolis. Again, I don't want to steal my thunder. I'll get into it when I do my video on the Necropolis. But I spent hours trying to figure out exactly what the problem was, because I got there and there was this huge problem and I didn't understand what was going on. And I read every single scrap about the Necropolis in this guide from every single chapter, and it just wasn't telling me what I needed to know. So I finally had to go to online message boards where I found archived entries from the late 90s and early thousands talking about this issue and how it ended up getting patched. And then I finally got the full story. Oh, and then a footnote on that was, by the way, the Fallout official strategy guide is wrong about this issue. So yeah, that's the joys of trying to produce a series on a 20-year-old video game. But I got the footage done. It's all coming together. I beat the game. I've got every scrap of footage I need. I know how it's going to go together. It's coming together. The Dark Seraph says, whiskey? Check. Dad joke? Do you know where you can get chicken broth in bulk? The stock market. Check. Thanks to Dark Seraph, I appreciate it. Lord Rivan says, love your channel, my friend. Keep making great videos. I shall endeavor to do so. There's no stopping anytime soon. Jacob Riccatone with a wonderful tip. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, both you and Lord and everyone else. And Brian Dow. Kyle Smith says, hey, Oxhorn, are you still doing the Fallout New Vegas series? Well, considering I'm not done with it yet, that would be yes. So as I've said from the very beginning of my Fallout New Vegas series, it's going to be a slow series because I'm basically beating the game 4 different times in order to uncover all of the details from each faction in Fallout New Vegas. We've done it with House, we've done it with the Legion, so that means there are 2 left, the NCR and Yes Man in Independent New Vegas, and I haven't done either of those yet. My plan, and I guess this is a Scotch and Smoke Rings exclusive, my plan is to start up on the next faction for New Vegas after I finish my Fallout 1 series. Now that will be in a week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks, depending on whether or not I need to split up certain locations. And then, plus, I have some other fun ideas that are outside of the plot of Fallout 1, but related to Fallout 1, that I kind of want to do. So we'll see. We'll see where I go there. It's probably going to be around 2 weeks, now that I think about it. Probably about 2 more weeks of Fallout 1. Then I'm going to go into the next faction series for New Vegas, though I haven't shot that footage yet, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to get that together. And then we still have a whole lot more to do. I still have to tell the full story of Fallout 3. We still have to do a lot of other locations in Fallout 3, like Grey Ditch, for example. I haven't even touched Grey Ditch. Then there's even more stuff in Fallout 4. I haven't done a profile video on Codsworth. I haven't done a profile video on X688. I kind of did a profile video on Dance. We talked about Blind Betrayal. I don't know if I need to do another one. Some people have said that I should do another one, because there are things that I didn't cover in that video, like his character and personality and some of the other exchanges we get. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another one on Paladin Dance. And then, of course, Fallout 76 is coming out. So, lots to do and not a whole lot of time to do it. Sean Wolf says, Oxhorn, I just watched to the end of The Lone World, where you and the other courier stand together and you go over the endings. Oh, okay. Long Road. Now you've got me confused. Old World Blues. Lonesome Road. Lonesome Road. Lone World. Gotcha. That just made me like New Vegas all over all the others, including 1 and 2. What do you think of Ulysses? Well, I did an entire profile video on Ulysses, because after that encounter, which it was a powerful moment in the game. After that encounter, I really had to struggle with my thoughts on him, because on one hand, I felt his pain, I empathized with him, but on the other hand, he is a villain, and he's clearly a villain. He wants to nuke the world, practically. He wants to nuke both the Legion and the NCR, including all of the citizens that are just caught up in the conflict between the two. Yeah, there's nothing good about that guy. But he's also a reasonable person. He's a reasonable human being. You can sit down and express your thoughts to him, and he can engage in conversation. Because of that, he's salvageable. But yeah, I expressed all my thoughts on that in my video dedicated to him. Vellingham says, Hi, Oxford. Not sure if this is a spoiler alert, but there's a random encounter in Fallout 2 where... That is a little bit of a... Are you talking about the Cafe of Broken Dreams? Is that what you're talking about? I've read a bit about it. I haven't played Fallout 2, and I'm probably not going to mention it because that could potentially be a spoiler. Though I think that's more of an Easter egg. The frustrating thing about Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, especially Fallout 2, is more than any of the other games, they're littered with Easter eggs that are funny, but ridiculous. And how do you explain them with lore? You can't. The only explanation is that it's not canonical. It's not part of the Fallout lore. It was just a fun joke, an Easter egg that they threw into the game. It's never said. The reason it's frustrating is because the one thing that kind of differentiates a canonical piece of lore from a non-canonical piece of lore is whether or not it's mentioned in one of the games. That's why Chris Avalon's Fallout Bible is a little bit controversial. He released it in the early 2000s and people were really enjoying it, but then the IP transferred hands and it now belongs to someone else. And so they're telling a new story. Do we really know how much of the Fallout Bible is canon? And then even then, Chris Avalon came out and said that his document is no longer canon, but the games still reference things that appeared in his document. So is it canon? We don't really know. We know when something is canon when it appears in the game, but then when an Easter egg appears in the game, like the TARDIS arriving in the middle of the wasteland, stay tuned for that. I'm not going to forget that. You're like, it's in the game. It can't be canon. It's got to be an Easter egg. It's annoying. But yeah, so that brings up a great point. The Cafe of Broken Dreams, is that canon? Finding out how the water chip broke in Vault 13 to begin with, is that canon? It's in the game. Dusky Thunder. Oh, Dusk Thunder 9? Says, why did you publish episode 3 over a year ago? Greg says, did you find the unusual call box in Fallout 1? I did, and I was recording. I got it on film. I'll share it later. So back when I did my video on Junktown, I wasn't doing week or 2 week long series. At the time, I was just producing lore videos, and I wanted to tell the story of Junktown because Junktown is referenced in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 with Tales of a Junktown jerky vendor. Wait, actually, is Tales of a Junktown jerky vendor in Fallout 3? I don't think it is. I could be wrong. Anyway, it is in Fallout 4, and so I wanted to connect the dots there and explain exactly what the lore behind Junktown was, because many people who play Fallout 4 have not played the original Fallouts. Those are some of the major comments that I'm getting on my series videos now, is that most people haven't played it. I mean, these are 20-year-old games, and a lot of the followers of the Fallout franchise are really new fans who became fans because of the Bethesda Fallouts. So this is new ground for many people, which is really exciting. I love putting this together. But so I wanted to tell the story of Junktown, and it wasn't until much later, especially when I started digging my heels into New Vegas, that I decided that some of these side plots really needed to be captured as dedicated series. So I went through all of the New Vegas DLCs as dedicated series, and I started the main story of New Vegas as a dedicated series. And you know what? I'm just going to have to do that with Fallout 1. To tell the entire story of Fallout 1 so people don't have to hunt throughout my lore playlist to find the episodes so that it makes sense. And after I had done that, I had to make a decision. Well, I've already got an entire video telling the story of Junktown done. Do I make that video all over again? Maybe throwing in a few tidbits here or there, or possibly missing something that I did in the last video? I mean, no. That's going to take another day of work or more. And I already had it done, so I just added it to my existing playlist. It's the same content. No one's missing out on anything. Just done in a different way. And I'm low on Scotch. Let's see. Where's my Scotch? Oh, that breaks a man's heart. Well, let's see how far we can fill this up. Oh, it's just a dribble. It's no more than a dribble. Well, that's why we have beer. Will you do lore on Rage? I don't know. The thing is, I'm really enjoying my playthrough of Rage. We'll get back to Rage a little later during this broadcast in about an hour. And I'm really enjoying my playthrough of Rage. It's a lot of fun. But not because of the story. The gameplay is fun, the driving is challenging and frustrating, and the adventure is great, and I love being thrown into something new. The story is a little bit lackluster. I'm hoping they improve it in Rage 2. I don't know how it ends yet, so I can't really give a review of it, but so far it's been fairly predictable, standard. We're the underground and we're fighting the authority. And in this case, the generic authority is actually called the Authority. That's the name of the villain. It's like naming your villain. Fight the Authority! And also the Authority. Typical raiders. I love the raiders that we find in Rage 2. They have different personalities, and we really kind of discovered a brand new raider faction in last week's episode, which was really exciting because I didn't know they existed before last week. And then this week, I don't even know where we left off. We had just finished that, and we got a new mission. Anyway, the story is okay. It's just really predictable so far, but we'll see how it ends. Lol with a tip says T-pose. Thank you. All right, I know I missed some tips. Let's scroll up there. Chicken Wing 420 says, are you going to be doing anything special for 1 million subs? I know I should, but I don't have anything planned yet. I am struggling with creativity when it comes to celebrating my 1 millionth subscriber. I'll try and think of something. If you have any ideas, I'm open to them. Brian Dow says, "Hey Oxhorn, I hope you're having a great evening. I wondered what happened to the U.S. military after the events of 2077. Did it break into smaller armed factions? Well, we just hold on, because we're going to be learning a little bit about that in the full story of Fallout 1. But I don't know. I don't want to spoil my series, but basically what happened is the military, under the leadership of a certain man, discovered that the United States government was doing something horrifying and repugnant, and rebelled and officially ceded from the United States government. But it just so happened that the military ceded from the government a few days before the bombs dropped. So there were no repercussions. And the remnants of the United States military became a faction we're all familiar with. But I'll be getting into that sometime soon. Vellingham says, "The authority is the Enclave. It's just a front. Don't believe the lies." Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Lol says, "Thank you." Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Brandon is Chevarius. Yes, spoilers though, spoilers. Wowzers says, "What are your thoughts on Fallout 76 and will you ever play with subs?" I get this question almost every week, but it's certainly worth answering. So if you want my opinion on Fallout 76, or at least with the information that we have so far, you need go no further than to explore my Fallout 76 playlist, which is front and featured on my channel. I've got about 5 or 6 videos in there. And I expressed my thoughts on Fallout 76 at the end of one live stream. And my stance on that is that I'm cautiously optimistic, and if I can amend that, every time we hear something new, I get more and more excited. So when they first announced that it was multiplayer, I became concerned, as did many of us. But as they began to clarify some of the things and address our concerns as a community, they've soothed many of my fears. Now, that said, we haven't played it yet. I haven't played it yet. We don't really know what it's going to be, if it's going to be worth it. But that's why I'm saying that I'm cautiously optimistic. I realize that it's possible things could go wrong, but I'm hoping that they don't. And I'm going to be positive and excited about the game until I have reason to believe otherwise. Jay McKibe says, "Hey Oxhorn, to answer your question about whether or not I'm going to be playing with subs, that's hard to answer because we don't know how the multiplayer part of the game is going to really work until we get into it. Is it going to be matchmaking? Is there a persistent world that we can all log into? That's the tricky bit. But probably not. I'm probably going to be playing by myself a lot. Jay McKibe says, "Hey Oxhorn, do you expect much lore video content for Fallout 76 or just more about Let's Plays?" I expect both. When Fallout 76 is first released, I expect to be doing a lot of Let's Plays because I don't know anything about that particular location yet. The quests there, the locations there. When I sat down to do my content on Fallout 4, I had already played through the game once. The same is true with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So I kind of knew where to go, where to start, how to tell the stories. With Fallout 76, I'll be walking into the world at the same moment you guys do. We'll be exploring it together. So I won't be able to be making lore videos right away. Instead, for the first week, 2 weeks, month or so, it'll be daily live streams of Fallout 76 until I get my feet wet, until I understand the game, and until I feel comfortable making a lore video. That said, maybe I'll turn around and be really comfortable and make a lore video the next day. We'll find out. Rob Taylor says, "Have you done a video on Lynn Woods in Fallout 4? If not, could you, unless there's nothing there as a story/lore fun?" I have not done a video about Lynn Woods, and I have been avoiding it because there is not much story there. Now, it is a fun spot. It's more of something that's just interesting to happen. It's like a novel location, like a novelty. And so I should probably cover it, but it would be really hard to make a lore video about it as there are no terminal entries, no NPCs we can talk to, no scraps of paper we can read. Even trying to tell environmental stories is difficult. We just have that tower, and then the switch, and then the death claws, and that's the entire encounter. But maybe I missed something. So it definitely deserves taking a look at again. B Slim with a tip says, I had a dream I was wide awake, and when I woke up, I was fast asleep. That's like right out of r/I'm 14 and this is deep. Or some sort of rap lyric. Deanna Gomez with a tip, $5. Thank you very much. Corey Morrison says, does equipping your settlers with armor increase defenses? I pre-ordered the Power Armor edition of Fallout 76. I hope to see you in the Wasteland. Good on you. I hope to see you in the Wasteland as well. I also have the pre-ordered it, so I'm looking forward to getting my Power Armor helmet. And yes, equipping settlers with armor does improve their armor factor. I think I got them all. Ah, no. They keep coming. Jay says, hi, Ox. If Bethesda had to ever reference Fallout New Vegas, which ending do you think they would go with? And which ending do you personally prefer? Well, they have referenced Fallout New Vegas a number of times, but they've never referenced any of the end game scenarios. To my knowledge, I don't think they have. So we don't know what the canonical ending of Fallout New Vegas is. This is very different from the interplay way of going about things. Fallout 2 kind of told the story of Fallout 1. Fallout 2 takes away some of the freedom of choice that we have in Fallout 1. For example, the canonical lore of Fallout 2 is that the original Vault Dweller from Fallout 1 was a male. So, hey, did you play a female in Fallout 1? Sorry, you were wrong. But Bethesda didn't do anything like that for New Vegas. Now, they did do a bit of that for Fallout 3. We do know that the Brotherhood defeated the Enclave as the canonical ending of Fallout 3. And then they even added to some of the lore that we didn't get to experience in Fallout 3, including the death of Elder Lyons and his daughter Sarah Lyons, which broke a few hearts, I'm sure. But no, Fallout New Vegas is referenced quite often in Fallout 4, but they never reference the ending. Now, as for the ending that I like best, I honestly haven't decided yet. I know how the NCR ending ends. I know how the Yes Man ending ends, because Yes Man was who I first sided with in my first playthrough. But even though I know the endings, I still haven't decided which I think is going to be best for the Mojave. I'm really struggling. Because we have to differentiate what's best for Vegas from what's best for the Mojave. I think the answer is that House is best for Vegas. As much as I hate to say it, because he's an oligarch he's an autocrat, really. So I hate to say it, but if I'm being honest, House is probably best for Vegas, but I don't think he is best for the Wasteland. Yes, he does talk about ambitions of going to the moon, but that could just be his hubris, and I don't really know if he's planned it out. And yet I also can't ignore the corruption of the NCR. And independent New Vegas is also problematic because, I mean, there's a reason they call the independent New Vegas Yes Man ending a wild card, because it comes out of nowhere, and it's ridiculous. Have you ever sat and thought about it? A robot who has been trained to always say yes, unless saying yes to an order would violate the independent free will of New Vegas citizens? He's Yes Man. What if I, as the courier, were to go to Yes Man and say, I'm Caesar now, and I need your help? He's Yes Man. He was made to be productive and pliable and accommodating, right? But you can't do that. You can only work with him if independent Vegas is your goal, which is ridiculous. I mean, especially if you specialize into hacking or science. You can hack the robots of old world blues. You can use every single piece of scientific equipment. You can repair your weapons, including this amazing LAER rifle that Elijah built. But a Securitron walks up, who happens to have a unique hacked program on him that the followers of the Apocalypse created, and you as a high science character can't do anything about that to maybe make him help you take over the Legion as a slaver, for example? It's silly. But I'll get more into that when we get there. LOL says, have you ever played any of the Bioshock games? And if so, will you ever make one short video of the lore of Rapture? I did an entire playthrough of the original Bioshock on this channel during Scotch and Smoke Rings. And I enjoyed it. It was all right. I haven't gotten into the others yet, but I plan to. That said, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lore series on it. It's possible, but I haven't decided. Oxhorn, there's a terminal at Neponset Park. I think it alludes to the building of Vault 88. What do you think? Do you think that was the big secret? Yeah, I mean, oh, the big secret? Okay. I think he's referring to a tweet that Todd Howard... Actually, I don't know if it was a tweet. It was a response to a question that Todd Howard gave years ago now. It was back in 2016, where someone said, where he said that there's a big secret that people haven't found yet, and none of us knew what that was. And then recently, I think it was only a few days ago, Pete Hines was asked on Twitter if anyone had found that secret, and he said yes. And I think that that's what you're referring to. You were asking if Vault 88 was the big secret. And possibly, but I don't think so, because the terminal entry at Neponset Park, if memory serves, was just talking about the noise that was coming from the nearby Quincy quarries. Now, before Vault 88 appeared in Quincy quarries, we had every way to explain that terminal entry by this mere existence of Quincy quarries. And quarries are not rare in the Commonwealth. There's Dunwich borers, there's thicket excavations. There are a number of quarries in the Commonwealth, so it's not strange to find a quarry, and it wouldn't be strange to find one at Quincy. So it makes perfect sense that the noise came from the quarry, and that's what was driving the author mad at Neponset Park. Speaking of which, I should probably do a video on this because I haven't done one yet. So thank you. I'll probably do a video soon. The throwing Vault 88 into Neponset Park, or into the Quincy quarries, honestly, I think was a little bit of an afterthought. They could have put it anywhere, and it just kind of fits inside the Quincy quarries, but it doesn't really connect to the lore of Neponset Park. Nothing we know at Neponset Park changes with the installation of Vault-Tec Workshop. So, I don't think so. Thank you for the tip, Tiana. Henry says, Oxhorn, you missed my 10-pound tip. I had a question, so here's another 5 for your attention. Thank you, but if you're gonna tip me to ask a question, if you tip me again to highlight my attention to it, tell me the question again, because I can't scroll back. The reason I missed it is because I can't scroll back. There comes a limit where YouTube doesn't allow me to go back in time anymore, even if somebody tipped. So I'm sorry, I don't know what you asked, but thanks for the tips. I do appreciate it. Waylon with a tip. Thank you, sir. Sam Ogasawara says, hey, Oxhorn, what kind of bourbon do you like? I love bourbon. I don't really have a favorite. I think Knob Creek is probably one of my favorite bourbons, but I can't say that I've tried them all. Really, I like bourbon and whiskey and scotch. Those are my favorites. Jacob Pryor says, Baker's sugar bread recipes are on a need-to-know basis. Oh. The pain. A need-to-know basis or a need-the-dough basis? Oh, I'm disappointed at myself over that. Durag says the Metro series has a lot of lore in it, and it's fleshed out even more in the books. It's based off of it's fleshed out even more in the books it's based off of. Would you do lore on the Metro series? Love the vids. By the way, I did a live stream of all of the Metro games, so I've covered them all on this channel. The story definitely deserves a lore series. I don't know if it's the right fit for my channel because it's really linear. Like L.A. Noire, for example. Maybe it's something I'll do. But there's still so much I haven't done yet that I don't really feel compelled to do that yet. But maybe someday. The Dark Knight Archives says, "Hey Oxhorn, today is my birthday. Spent time with family and went downtown. Have you ever visited Chicago? I live near there. If not, would you ever visit? Anyway, have a fantastic day." Well, happy birthday to you. I'm glad you had a good time. I also spent time with family today, which is why I'm not going to have a video for you tomorrow, but it was time well spent. I had a great time. I've never been to Chicago. I've never even been near Chicago, and I'd be glad to go if I ever had a reason, but I don't really have a reason. I don't have any family in that area. Friction is Fiction says, "Hi Oxhorn, I love your vids. I hope you have a nice day." Well, thank you very much. Tiana Shoot says, "Oxhorn, I'm currently trying to get through the Quarry Junction as we speak. Any tips? What gun did you use?" I don't know. I mean, I've been through Quarry Junction often. What gun did I use? I can't even remember. I think I used a brush gun. Yeah, I think it was a brush gun. Alex Godzi says, "Would the big secret be the hint to 76 at the beginning of Fallout 4? It could be, but if that's the big secret, it's disappointing, only because the clue is bad. Here's the problem with a lot of detective novels and detective shows, if you allow me to rant for a little bit. The entire point of watching a detective show is so that the audience can sit down and try to solve the crime along with the detective. If you're watching Hercule Poirot or Father Brown, they do that pretty well, even though every now and then there's a story that doesn't quite go the way you would think. But especially when it comes to American detective film, it's all about the jump scare with them. It's all about the wild card, the surprise ending, and that robs the viewer of the pleasure of watching the film. I don't even remember the name of it, but there was a detective movie, it had Angelina Jolie in it, something about bones. And it's a mystery, and you have to find the killer and all of that, and you're with the characters, you're invested, you know all the suspects in your head, and then at the very end, they just pull this guy out from nowhere that they maybe showed on screen twice and said, "Oh, he was the killer," because of... That's the kind of detective storytelling that is horrible, and it's frustrating, and it makes me mad. And that's how I feel when it comes to big secrets and clues inside games like the Fallout franchise. If you're gonna tease a secret, it has to at least have the possibility to be discovered, right? And it can only be discovered if that secret has enough of a trail that leads to it. The problem with the idea that the big secret was Fallout 76 is that they mentioned Vault 76 at the beginning of Fallout 4 when Ron Perlman, as the TV presenter, was talking about the news of the day. But they emphasized Fallout 76 no more than anything else they talked about in the news of the day, which means, as a detective, we would have no reason to suspect Fallout 70 or Vault 76 as being the big secret or the next big game, any more than we would have the idea that the next Fallout is going to be on the island of Mumbai, which was also mentioned in the same news broadcast, right? If they came out with a game called Fallout the Island of Mumbai, then we could go, oh yeah, they made that connection at the very beginning, but there's no way we could have guessed that that's where the next game was going to be based on that one hint. And it's the same with Vault 76. And that's why I don't think any of us could have predicted, because there certainly wasn't enough evidence to do so, that there would have been a Fallout 76 back when it was mentioned in Fallout 3. So if they're going to have a big secret, there has to be a trail. Otherwise, it's not satisfying. And my hope is that the big secret that they say is discovered now, but they didn't tell us what it was, I'm hoping that they did lovingly put in a trail of clues that could be followed so that we can find it. Soft Wokes says, hey Oxhorn, have you been banned from gambling in all of the casinos in New Vegas? It's something you can do with high luck and get lots of caps early on. I don't have high luck on my characters. I think I got banned from one. No, it wasn't in New Vegas. I got banned from, I think I got banned from the Sierra Madre. Anyway, it's been a while. I got banned from one, and I haven't done all of the others yet. Superbad says, what are your thoughts on a super mutant / ghoul player? I think you, sir, may be a bit of a mind reader, because that could be DLC content for Fallout 76 in the future. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. There's always a possibility to play a super mutant, especially a Gen 1 Mariposa super mutant, like man, his name is escaping me. Jacobstown, Marcus. Like Marcus. Marcus is intelligent, he's long-lived, he can use any number of weapons. There's really no reason why a player couldn't play a super mutant like Marcus. And there's really no reason why the player couldn't play a non-feral ghoul. So I guess I'm not against it. I don't know if I like it, but I'm not against it. And it's quite possible that it's something we'll see in the future, as maybe a DLC or something, I don't know. Or a free expansion, who knows. Joshua Harlow says, I have been loving your Fallout 1 series, Oxhorn. You are a beautiful man, and I love all your vids. Well, thank you. You're just so kind. I appreciate it. My cigar keeps going out because I just sit there and talk. I talk and talk and talk, and the fire goes down. Alan Reyes says, thanks for your amazing content. Thoughts on the assault apologetics of Legion fans? I expressed all of those aptly, I thought, in my video on why the Legion is doomed to fail. You alienate your viewers if you sit there and call them stupid, or if you say, if you're a Legion fan, then you've got X personality trait or Y personality trait, and that kind of argument is just, it's not effective. It may be satisfying, it may make us feel better or superior, but it's not effective at convincing people and changing their minds. My goal with my video on the Legion was I really genuinely believe that the Legion is doomed to fail. Not because I just hate them for the sake of hating them, or because I dislike people who side with the Legion. Those are silly reasons. But based on the evidence we find in the game, I genuinely think that they can't possibly win. They have no hope. And that was the point with my video on why I thought the Legion would fail. I wanted to show the evidence. So I really tried to remove as much of myself from that video as possible and just base every single argument on some piece of evidence that I could find in the game. Whether it was a number of people who shared the exact same opinion, or a strategy that the Legion employed that failed in the past, but they didn't change it and continued to do it in the second Battle of Hoover Dam. All of those are the kinds of evidences that I compiled in there. So, whether you side with the Legion or you side with the NCR, depending on your own personality as a human being, you're going to want to defend your guys, and, you might take it too far and stop realizing that it's a game, and then start assuming negative character attributes about people who disagree with you. And that's just, it's not the right way to go about conversing with other people. Certainly not the right way to change their opinions. But sadly, it's the internet. What can you do? People are people. Your M9M says, Benjamin Jones asked, could the Institute alter people's minds in Fallout 4? People's? No. Synths? Yes. I don't know of any example in Fallout 4 where the mind and memory of a person was changed, unless that person was a synth, in which case their memories could be erased and overwritten. Entire personalities manufactured, as Dr. Amari does. So it just kind of depends. Luke says, hey Oxhorn, thank you for the great Fallout videos. They are helping me understand the Fallout universe more and more. Keep up the great work. Well, I will. Thank you so much. How do you get banned from the Sierra Madre? That's a ghost town, literally. Well, you have to remember that the dealers at the Sierra Madre are holograms. They're the ghosts, right? And they have been pre-programmed with a set of credentials. One of those may have been, if somebody earns a certain amount of money at the tables, you got to ban them from the casino. So I think that's what happened to me a while ago. Nat Yen says, I'm happy to be here and hope you keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. Sunset Rider says, Oxhorn, I want a mouse pad with Who's a Good Boy? Please add mouse pads to the store. Can I add mouse pads? That's a good idea. Well, I'll leave a note to myself to check out mouse pads. No promises, but I will look into it. And Denise says, love your content. Thanks so much. You are indeed welcome. Thanks for watching. Craig says, Ox, why is there no reference to Los Alamos, New Mexico in Fallout 4? Probably for the same reason there's no reference to Seattle. Well, actually, there's a reference to Seattle in Fallout 4 in the video game. Is it Red Menace? No, it's Zeta Invaders. In Zeta Invaders, there is a reference to the space station. Caleb S. says, since you didn't give my last tip, I'll give you another. Heading off to college for my freshman year tomorrow morning. I'll use your content to fill the void of leaving home behind for a while. Well, it's something we all do, leave home at the right age, and I'm proud of you for doing so, and I hope that my videos will be able to entertain while you're off and away. The Dark Knight Archive says, Oxhorn, Fallout New Vegas is my favorite Fallout game. What's your favorite DLC from New Vegas? Mine is Lonesome Road. I hope you had a great time with your family. I don't drink, but here's to you. Cheers. Thank you very much. Lonesome Road is right up there. It's hard for me to pick my favorite DLC for New Vegas, but if I had to pick, gosh, it's really between Lonesome Road and Old World Blues. Those two were just so great, and for entirely different reasons. I guess I'm going to have to say Lonesome Road, because just the idea of this guy luring you in while at the same time stalking you is poetic and just great. Red Runner says, I like Oliva cigars. What is your preferred brand? This is my preferred brand, La Aurora y Leon, simply because they're easy to smoke and at the right price. Sebastian Hernandez says, hello, Oxhorn. I just wanted to know what your thoughts on the next Fallout location after 76. I think that is a good location. Would be my home state of New Mexico. This happening after the events of Fallout New Vegas. You know, there are lots of wonderful ideas about where the next Fallout should be. Honestly, I doubt we're going to see another West Coast Fallout. Bethesda, based on history, has kind of allowed the Interplay and Obsidian fellows to focus on the West Coast, where they wove that story, and they've really enjoyed writing the story of the East Coast. Now, with 76, they are moving a little bit inward, but West Virginia is still, you know, it's a stone's throw away from the coast. Will we see something in New Vegas or New Mexico or in New Reno again? I doubt it. I doubt it. If they were to do a new game, I think it would probably be on the East Coast. But, you know, it could be anything. Big Papa Squat says, would you rather be a Gen 1 super mutant or a ghoul? It's tough. Super mutants are sterile. So, but are ghouls sterile? I don't know. Tricky question. I don't know which one I'd rather be. Henry says, last tip, could you tell me about your Patreon perks? Well, my Patreon perks are not that big, so if you support on Patreon, I've got 3 or 4 tiers, and based on the tier that you choose, you open up a tier-specific channel on my Discord server, where you can talk with other people who donate at that range. The biggest prize, of course, is for $100 subscribers, and they get a place in the credits of my videos, every single video. And that's really the perks I have for Patreon subscribers. Oxhorn, is there an easy way to get settlers out of power armor? I haven't actually tried. Can't you just ask them if they'll leave and have them hop out? I'm not sure. The Dragonov says, will you ever do a video on the other countries in the Fallout universe, like what happened to them, or if they survived, or if they were untouched? If they ever give us that information, sure, but really, the Fallout franchise is an American-focused story, because as we learned from the very beginning of Fallout 1, Europe devolved into quarreling nation-states long before the nuclear apocalypse of 2077. Now, of course, that's just Europe. We don't know what happened in Africa. We don't know what happened in Mexico or South America or in the East. So there's a lot that we just don't know, and there's really not a lot of information about that. Like what happened to China, we don't really know. Did they get hit as hard as we got hit? Probably, if we both launched missiles at each other in the Fallout universe. But we really don't know. As there is more evidence, we'll be able to tell that story better. Absolute Horse says, I just started playing Fallout 4 VR and I absolutely love it. What was your favorite thing about Fallout 4 VR? Here's a tip. Love the vids. Thank you very much. Well, it was a growing experience for me. If you watch the first few episodes of my Fallout 4 VR live stream, you'll see exactly how difficult the transition was for me. But I did get there, so that by the time I finished the game, I beat the entire game in Fallout 4 VR. I was really enjoying it. And I got the movements down, and, pistol combat felt great to me. Yeah, I had a really good time in Fallout 4 VR. I don't think I like it better than just regular Fallout 4, but it's definitely a fun experience. Corey Morrison says Fallout 76 looks cool, but I'm unsure about how story-driven it'll be compared to previous games. I don't like that there are no NPCs. Your thoughts? I don't need NPCs to tell the story. My favorite stories from the Fallout franchise are not stories told by NPCs. Those are quests, and I enjoy the quests, but my favorite stories are the ones that we piece together while exploring a dungeon, or exploring a ruined office building, or exploring a pre-war bunker, and we find holotapes and paper trails, or we can tell a story based on the environment that we find around ourselves, like a whole bunch of skeletons at the base of a rock pile at the very end of Vault 19, or something like that, right? Or Vault 109. Was it Vault 109 or Vault 106? I forget. Anyway, those are the stories I like best. And you don't need NPCs to tell those stories. So I have every confidence that Fallout 76 is going to have plenty of stories like that upon launch. And since it is a constantly updated game as an online game, we can expect more and more of that to appear in the world, especially a world as large as the West Virginia wasteland is going to be. I'm really excited about Fallout 76. The more I learn about it, the more excited I get. I was really disappointed when I finished Nuka World, knowing that that was the last DLC for Fallout 4. There was so much more I wanted. I wanted so much more story. And with Fallout 76, it's not going to end. It's an online game. So, job security, right? Right. Dawson says, Oxhorn, you continue to say that super mutants are genderless, and that might be true of modern super mutants, but in Fallout 2, there's a first-gen mutant you can have sex with. Yeah, that's actually the case in Fallout 1 as well. We'll learn that when we get to the Mariposa military base, because we find a couple, a human and super mutant couple, in the Mariposa military base. And that surprised me, because it's very clear, even from Fallout 1, that super mutants can't reproduce. And in later games, they are depicted as being genderless, even though I have to admit that there are super mutants with specifically gendered personalities, like Lily from Fallout New Vegas. So yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Is their equipment gone? Or are they just rendered sterile? In Fallout 1, we were given to believe the latter, because at the very end of the game, you can ask a certain somebody, hey, did you realize, have you ever tried talking with the women's super mutants to find out whether or not they can reproduce? Which presumes that you can tell the difference between men and women super mutant. Which would be unique, because we haven't seen that in 3, New Vegas, or 4. Dylan says, hey Oxhorn, I love all of your lore videos, and I'm really enjoying your full story of Fallout 1. I was wondering if you're going to do the same for Fallout 2. Yes, but it's going to be a long time from now. I finally, but I do have an update on that, I finally got Fallout 2 to work on my computer. Yay! So I could start capturing footage, but my schedule is pretty much booked. Fallout 76 comes out on November 14th. They're going to be releasing the beta sometime in October. I have to finish the full story of Fallout 1, and I have to finish the story of one of the factions of New Vegas. I've already committed in my mind to doing that, and that's already 3-4 weeks, a month worth of content just there. So from the end of August until, October, when the beta starts, I don't know how much time I'm going to have. I don't think I'm going to have time to not only capture footage and beat Fallout 2, but also produce a story on it before I get my hands dirty with Fallout 76. So that'll be sometime in the distant future. Sarah says, do you think that the differences between the Fallout 3 and New Vegas ghouls and the Fallout 4 ghouls physically is canon and or based on region? Thank you. No, I don't think so. And that wouldn't make any sense, because the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas ghouls are only separated by a few years, but they are separated by an entire continent. It's quite a ways from New Vegas to the capital wasteland, and yet to find ghouls that resemble each other in both of those locations, unrealistic unless all ghouls were the same. So I aside from, strange FEV mutated ghouls, when it comes to ghouls, I really think there's one type of ghoul. Instead, when it comes to the Fallout 4 ghouls, I like to think about it like this. When we're playing Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, we're experiencing the Fallout world through a dirty lens. We get a little bit of the picture, but it's not a clear picture. And when we play Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, that lens is even dirtier. We get an idea of what the picture is, but we're way up in the clouds and we can't see the detail, and there's a lot that we just don't know. But as the technology gets better and as the games get later and later, that lens clears up so that by the time we get to Fallout 4, we're seeing in a better lens, which means we get a better idea. So the way I see it, the ghouls in Fallout 4 are exactly the same as the ghouls from Fallout 3 and New Vegas. We just can observe them better. We can understand them better because we're viewing them through a cleaner lens. Okay. Wow. Have I really been talking this whole time? Okay, it's time to get to the gameplay part of the program. let's go ahead and fire up Rage. So give me a second to turn off my music and fire up Rage. And then we'll see where we left off. I don't really remember. Okay, borderless gaming, because it's an older game and I need to remove the border if I'm going to be playing it in windowed mode. All right, let's move on over. Hey, look at that. It's working. Alexander says, I hear you're an author. Where can I buy your books? I link to them in the description of every single video. So you can check them out there. All right, where were we? Talk to Portman in Subway Town. Okay, Portman.
Now, we finally get to hit the authority. I've been waiting for this. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hit the authority.
To get across the bridge and into the eastern lands, you'll need to knock out the power generator that controls the defenses. Trick is, the only safe way to access the bridge is down the ravine and up the lift. Not easy. Once you're around the defenses, you'll be able to blow the generator to hell. I'll give you the explosive charges. You just need to make it down the ravine alive. Got all that?
Sounds good. I like the way he was really, that was important. Gotta blow it to hell. Okay, two-step process. First, gotta blow the authority blockade near the entrance to the ravine in the north. Once you do that, they'll know you're coming, so don't waste time. Then drive down the ravine to the bridge and find the generators. Okay, so I'm blowing up generators on a bridge. Then I gotta blow up an authority blockade. Sounds good.
Good. And the authority has a small blockade near the ravine entrance in the north. Once you blow that, they will know you're coming. Don't waste time. Get down the ravine and to the bridge as quickly as possible.
Okay, let's see. What's my ammunition look like? Wow, I have a lot of that. I didn't realize I had as much of that. Sniper rifle, 161. Shotgun. I could use to get more shotgun rounds. I got a lot of pistol rounds. Okay. Let's buy some shotgun shells and then head on out. Do you still write? Asks Paul Johnson. I don't. And I miss it so much. I would love to... Well, okay, so the secret... It's not really a secret, but I was able to produce my book. I wrote my book a long time ago. I wrote it before... I was a young man. I was 18 or 19 years old. And I wrote it while I was still living at home. And then I neglected it for a couple of years. And then while I was in college and then just after graduating from college, I finished it and refined it. So I did it when I had a bit of time.
I know you're working with the you-know-who. A lot of people are pulling for you, and them. So be careful.
Okay, what are you doing over here with Stu? I want to see what he's got for sale.
I've always got something special for sale.
Yeah, let's get some of those.
See me often. You'll never know what I'll be selling.
Now, let's find the merchant. Anyway, so the thing is, look, if I sold 1 million books every time I wrote one, I mean, that's enough reason for me to stop what I'm doing now and sit down and write books. But I don't. I mean, nobody knows me as an author. They know me as Oxhorn, the YouTuber, and that's fine with me. I have a really good time as Oxhorn, the YouTuber. So I'm focusing on this for now.
The best stuff.
And maybe someday I'll go back to writing books. Who knows? Let's get on up to 200. How many of these pulse shot? All the kick you'd expect from a shotgun plus added EMP. You know, I don't really use a lot of... Well, maybe I should use more of that. All right, let's purchase more. It's almost 3 times the price, though. Goodness. Well, that's what ammunition is for.
Don't forget to check with me first if you need anything. Bye now.
All right, let's head back to the car, to the garage.
Back off.
Oh, yes, sir. Don't want any trouble. I'll just be going now. What did you major in college? I majored in history. And then I immediately got a job in marketing. Doesn't make any sense. All right, let's leave. Okay. I got so caught up in running those guys over that they took me by surprise. Okay, how many? 5. I have 5 bandages. Can I make any more? Oh, nope, I'm in the wrong thing. Where is it? There. What is that? EMP grenades. Oh, I shouldn't have bought any. I could have made some. I got a lot of bandages. Crap. I forgot to buy bandages. Well, Bubkiss. Let's just go inside. Oh, that's right. We're blowing things up. Oh, timer. Oh. We're learning. Okay, that was rough. How did I die so quickly? Maybe I'll just drive by them really fast. Let's try that again. Stupid car. Oh. Did I run over my own bomb? Is that what killed me? Oh, what? Come on. Can I even kill them outside of... Whoops. Where'd he go? Well, that was less than ideal. I wish I could have gone without dying. But let's do a quick save just in case. Have a sip of beer. What are you smoking today? Says Mars Man. Any suggestions for cigars? Something with cocoa and coffee notes. Much love for your Fallout content, my dude. To be perfectly honest, my sense of taste is muted, and I don't really taste a lot of the flavor. Oh no, another one? Oh, come on, really? Reminded me to buy more rockets. What's that? What's that? What's that? Ha-ha! Bombs. Okay, those are useful. I should have gotten more pulse shots while I was in the shop. Lesson learned. Okay, that's it. Return to the authority base, or resistance base. Great. Okay. Doggone it. Oh, run away! Where's my car? Where's my car? Hey! Woo! Good they blow up my car? They've known it was there. No, we're good. Quick save. Is he waiting for me? What have I got? Bombs. Nothing. 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 Just bombs. I need to go buy better stuff for my car. Woo! Catch me if you can. Checkpoint. Back to Subway Town. Whew, okay. Let's repair our car, and doggone it, I need to get some better weaponry for this thing. I only have escort bombs. Okay, let's get some better stuff. Is he a vendor? Is there a vendor? No. I guess I gotta buy it from, what's her name?
Man.
If I can remember where she's at. I think she's over... No. Oh, hey, guys. Yeah, no worries. There she is.
Hey there, what you looking for?
Something for my car. Let's buy some more bandages. I don't get it. Well, then where do I buy stuff for my car? Oh, all the way down. That's right.
Go, go!
They got this hole.
All clear. Nothing in here.
Hey, you. What can I do for you? What you looking for?
Minigun gun ammo, homing rockets, ammunition designed to work with all vehicle-mounted rocket launchers. How do I not have ammo for the advanced pulse weapon on the Monarch vehicles? Drop mine. This is what I have. Escort bomb. Automated bomb cars programmed to target the closest enemy. I should probably buy some shields. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's cool. A hovercraft. I'll take that. What's all this? Hold on tight. Here comes maximum boost. Those bandits don't have a chance when you're packing rockets. Rocket launchers! Sweet! And I'm broke! Alright. We'll go and upgrade our car in a bit. Let's head back to the Resistance and find out what we got to do next.
Can you believe it?
What's next, fellows? For the cause. Whatever that cause is.
The Authority will be making more moves around the wasteland now that we've knocked out their first line of defense. We need to strike fast now while we have the element of surprise.
Great work. That'll make them think twice about getting too far from base. Now, before you go running into Capital Prime, I think you should take some extra firepower with you. Grab that Authority pulse cannon. I liberated it from a dead guard.
Ooh. And at last we have ascended. Beautiful. That's great.
Captain Marshall's got all the plans in place. You are ready to go.
Authority pulse cannon. Standard rounds, Authority pulse rounds, felt light infused rounds of death. Ultra potent, highly unstable, and extremely deadly ball of plasma. Wow. HE rockets. Okay, I've got some HE rockets. Smart seeking rockets of doom. Target vehicles only. Oh, I've got vehicle rockets? I should have known that.
You've
All
done
right,
a
let's
great
go.
job, soldier. But now, it gets serious. One last mission for you.
Codes are ready. You'll be able to walk right in. Uploading them to you now, sir.
This is it. What we've been planning for so many years coming. But now, we will be able to hit the Authority where it hurts. You'll have to get inside the heart of the Authority itself, Capital Prime. Get to the ARC control system and upload the data from your ID drive. That'll trigger the emergence of the remaining ARCs. No one has ever entered Capital Prime and returned. No one knows what could be waiting for you. But if you are successful at raising the remaining ARCs, then we've got plans and people in place, ready to support those that emerge. Ready to build an army to fight the Authority. The days ahead won't be easy. They still have a massive technological edge, and no one knows the size of the mutant force they're building. But there's hope. Because of what you are about to do, there's a chance to change the course of mankind forever. Take this code cipher. You'll be able to access any personnel entrance near Capital Prime's main gate. The entrance will be heavily guarded, but I know you can do it. Mankind's future depends on you now. Godspeed, soldier.
Sounds great. Let's save. Now, someone said something about body armor being downstairs.
You've done so much for us.
Sorry, what?
We are all counting on you. Good luck.
Okay, I missed that. Oh well. Yeah, let's go downstairs and see if we can find some body armor. Let's go shoot some stuff. I'm gonna buy body armor from this guy?
You'll find everything you need at Sparky's. Feel free to browse my selections.
I bought some of that.
Yeah, see you soon.
Well, I don't understand that reference then. Let's... Oh! Oh, no, that's the Speedway.
Travel restrictions?
Yeah, the authorities going too far this time.
I don't want to book a race. Let's get on with the quest. Okay, let's assign items. Escort bomb, shield, armor restore, hover turret. Okay, they're already assigned. Great. And I'm fully repaired. To the wasteland, here we go. Head to the gates of Capital Prime. Liberty Prime's brother. Playing with my new toys. Left him to deal with my hover turret. We are deep. Deep in it. Sure. Okay. It's okay. Oh. What was that? Oh dear. Oh dear. All my toys. I'm done. More? How many of these guys do I have to kill? Or are they just going to keep coming? Ooh, Jiminy Crickets, run inside. Nope, can't. What? Okay, we're good. Capital Prime. Okay, what's this? Authority pulse rounds. BFG rounds. Doom reference. Quick save. Let's see if I should stealth through this or just go in guns blazing. Oh. Left, right, left. Nice, more BFG rounds. I think I'm okay. He didn't scan me.
Unauthorized personnel detected.
Copy that. All groups continue search.
Attention non-security personnel. Secure stations and move screen zone. Security gate
We
online.
need backup. Advance on enemy position. I've got your back.
56 left. Probably don't need those just yet. Well, let's switch to my shotgun so that I don't run through all my ammunition.
Security gate online.
Unit down.
Should have got more pulse shots. That I regret. Ho 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 ho! Jeez. Used up a lot of bandages there. Left or right? Well, let's go left for now. Quick save. Whoops. Okay, I should be using this, I guess. They keep giving me ammunition for it. Elevator.
Security gates on.
Well, I'm running through that authority pulse ammunition pretty fast. Ooh, that's not going to be good later on. I'm sure I need that.
Initialize Nexus boot sequence. Initialize complete.
ID terminal. Another elevator. Okay.
Linking access to central arc control system.
Did I miss?
Auxiliary corridors accessible.
So slow moving. Wow. Switch that back to regular. Note to self, red force field's bad. Okay. That was horrifying. I like this gun. Is this where it was? This was where it was. Okay. Gonna go around a big circle on Betty. Oh. Up we go. They're gonna jump out at me at the sides. I just know it. Or not.
Decoding data. Bridge terminals online.
Activate satellite positioning terminal. Saving. Ha! Okay.
Flight positions. Stand by.
Green button. Oh.
Final upload sequence initiated.
Cutscene. Die, Authority. Do we get to see a space explosion? Ooh, is this another arc? Ooh, it's a satellite of some sort. All the arcs all over the planet. Activated. Hey, hey! Where's it? We did it! We beat Rage! Didn't know that I was going to be beating the game today. But hey, I can't complain. We got through it. Oh, man. Well, there you go. That's the very first Rage. We went through every single... Did we go through every single quest? Well, we at least went through the primary plot of the game during these live broadcasts here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. So, now we know the story. You can always go back and watch my old episodes of Scotch and Smoke Rings to play along with me to see what the story is. But now we're prepared for Rage 2 when it comes out. If that's going to be a welcome addition to Scotch and Smoke Rings. What should I play next? I've been thinking about Wolfenstein on this program, but I do realize that it's a bit of a gory game and there are some questionable moments in it. That said, it sounds a little bit fun, but I mean, it's good. We're going to be getting Fallout 76 soon anyway, so I don't even know if I'm going to have time to beat a new game before that comes out. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, everybody. Had a blast. So glad you were able to join us. Remember, no video tomorrow because I wasn't able to work on one today, but never fear, I'll have a new video for you Saturday and then again on Sunday. So stay tuned for those videos. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wonderful evening this Thursday evening. Kilo Cat actually says, want to say thank you for all your hard work. I've always been interested in the Fallout lore, but I've never been able to play the games myself. I love your vids and I'm excited to see future content. Well, I'm excited to produce future content, so we're on the same page. Anyway, thanks for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Be sure to tune in next week, same Ox time, same Ox channel for episode 474. And until then, you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you bright and early Saturday morning with a brand new video. Cheers.